From the shores of Malibu where the waves are pumping, to the Great Wall of China where I hope nobody is jumping, and back to the streets of Tampa, Florida where the UFC is coming. We are live. This is It's Time Radio, the show where we talk about what you think about, but may be afraid to voice. We'll talk about it for you. We talk about everything on It's Time. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, UFC, politics, movie, TV, film. You name it, we talk about it. I'm here with TJ DeSantis, my co-host, my producer. TJ, you're down in Cancun.
Yeah, Quintana Roo, I think, is the official name of the state. Did you know Mexico has states? I didn't even know there were states in Mexico. I thought it was just Mexico.
I like to think I know a lot of things, but I will say that that's probably partially what I knew. I know of the state. I didn't know of multiple states, but yes.
Yeah, bunch of states.
Cool. Well, Cancun's a fun place, party town, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know me. I'm just hanging out in my hotel room by myself.
Pardon me?
They say, you know me. I'm just hanging out in my hotel room by myself.
Hey, I do a lot of that myself. Trust me, being on the road and being a road warrior, hotel rooms, they better be nice. Speaking of nice hotel rooms.
Not everybody can be a party animal like our guest this week.
Yeah, I know. Let's bring on the madman himself, Dean Thomas. Dean, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, man. I just touched down in Tampa, and I do have a nice hotel room, but for good reason. I'm filming Looking for a Fight. That means I'm staying in Dana White's hotel. Not his hotel room, but his hotel. So that means I'm in a good hotel.
Oh, so you're not staying where I'm going to be staying. You're staying in Dana's hotel.
Yeah, I'm in Dana's hotel. And I only brag about that because it's not often that I get to stay in Dana's hotel. So when I do stay in Dana's hotel, I brag.
Why not? Brag away. Have a good time. It's usually starting off with the name Ritz or Four Seasons or something like that, but don't tell us where you're at.
Yeah, I can't tell you where I'm at, but all I'm saying is I'm balling.
Well, you're balling and you're with Dana White looking for a fight. It's all starting up again, right?
Yeah. Well, we were supposed to go to Korea, South Korea. That didn't work out, but so we're here in Tampa for the fights, and for good. It's cool. I love Tampa. I'm a Florida guy, and I get to come here and watch Joaquin Buckland and Colby Covington scrap. So who complains about that?
Yeah, you know, the Tampa card, which is the last fight of the year for the UFC, is actually a very, very good card. Not that there aren't. Oh, I always think they're good cards. I love when people say they're bad cards. They turned out to be great nights of fights, you know. But you got Joaquin Buckley and Colby fighting both in the top 10. Joaquin very, very tough. This is a tough fight for Colby. A very tough fight. I think the style of Joaquin and Colby, Colby's going to definitely. It's going to be a brawl, throw for it all, stand up, a lot of striking. I don't see this as a ground game. I really don't. I see it as a striking game. Am I off?
No, you're 100% right. I think that, Joaquin, in his last fight, he was taking down Wonderboy because he had to. But I think in this fight, Colby's going to have to take him down, and he's going to have to get inside. It's not going to be easy to get inside on a guy like Joaquin Buckley because he moves well, and he's a power puncher in the phone booth. So he's going to be hard to take down. But Colby has surprisingly gotten more powerful with his strikes, with his hands. So Joaquin can't sleep on that neither. So this is an interesting matchup, and I can't wait to see it.
Hey, stylistically, I'm curious, real quick, if you don't mind, Buff. I want to pick the coach's brain here, Dean. Looking at this fight, if it is a stand-up affair and Buckley's not able to get it to the floor, do you think there are opportunities, or Colby's not able to get it to the floor, do you think there are opportunities for Buckley to hit some innovative strikes, say in scrambles? Like I always think of Edson Berto and Eve Edwards when Berto was going for that single leg and Eve, hopping on one leg, hit that knee and knocked him out. We've seen the dynamic striking of Buckley in the past. Do you think Colby needs to fear anything like that?
I don't think so. I think it's going to be difficult to do that against a veteran like Colby. Colby's not going to make a lot of mistakes, mental mistakes, like holding on to a single leg for too long. But the opportunities that Buckley will have may have to do with physical deficiencies that Colby may be facing now as he's gotten older. He doesn't move as well as he used to. Like when he fought Robbie Lawler in RDA, he was all over the place. He doesn't move that well anymore. But he's going to have to make smarter decisions with his foot placement, and that may make it harder for Buckley to find some innovative, creative strike. But he may just keep it simple, stick with the ones and twos.
you mentioned the telephone booth. I just have to segue for a second. Have you seen these crazy fights they're coming out with? Fighting in a car, fighting in a telephone booth, fighting in all this.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Car jitsu, I think, is what they call it.
What do they call it?
Car jitsu.
Car jitsu.
Car jitsu. Yeah. God,
and like, dude, I saw it on ESPN Plus. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I'm down here in Mexico doing combat jiu-jitsu, which I think is a real bona fide sport, a very interesting sport, a sport that is not really a spectacle any more so than jiu-jitsu itself is, or mixed martial arts. And combat jiu-jitsu doesn't get the type of respect that it should, yet, dudes are trying to choke each other with literal seatbelts. I don't get it.
No, I don't get it either. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. But, everybody's looking to find the next big thing. That is far from the next big thing. You've seen the pillow fights, Dean?
Yeah. I actually went to a pillow fight a couple weeks ago. It's pretty.
What did you see?
Pretty ridiculous.
What is it?
The pillow fights.
You went to one? Where does one go to a pillow fight?
There was a pillow fight happening. It was at a gym here in South Florida. Do you remember Alan? I can't remember his last name. He's a Brazilian guy that fought in the UFC named Alan. I can't remember his last name, but he fought.
No, I don't. But I was contacted by them. I mean, all more power to them, but it's not something I particularly care to announce.
Yeah, Bruce, if you did that and legitimized that, that would be. I would be like, I would question your character.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Enough said. I think that pretty much explained my attitude towards it. With all respect to the promoters and what they're doing, that's fine. Let them do what they do. Let's get back to real fighting. UFC. Cub Swanson, Billy Quarantino, Tillo. Tough fight. Manuel. Is it Cape? Manuel
Cop.
Cape? Cop? It's Cop,
I think
right?
they pronounce it Cop. I think they pronounce it Cop. Yeah.
Okay. Bruno Silva, Vitor Petrino, and Justin Jacoby. A lot of names here. They're not huge names, but they're good, solid fights. Good, solid fights coming back in. Michael Johnson's been fighting forever. I'm looking forward to Miranda Maverick and Jamie Horth. I always like watching Miranda fight. That's going to be a very tough fight. But a good, solid night of fights. Good way to end the year. Tampa, probably sell out. Be a very, very exciting night. Starts late, 7 o'clock at night. We'll be finished at 2 in the morning.
Oh, no.
My flight leaves at 7. I got to leave for the airport at 5.
I didn't know it was a late
card
like that. No, I was thinking
Dean's got a bedtime at 9:30.
No. I'm like, it's a fight night. It's going to be an early night. Don't tell me this. No.
Nope. 7 o'clock at night. I know. Trust me. Like I said, my flight leaves at 7. I got to leave for the airport at 5. So the flight's end at 2. I'll get back at 3, maybe an hour's sleep, and then on the plane. Don't cry for me, Argentina. It's Road Warrior time, UFC Road Warrior time, but it's going to be exhausting.
I mean, that's the problem with those East Coast shows. I was reminded of that, a couple weeks back in New York City. It's just, you get done with work, you might have time to get a shower in and get in the flight back home.
That's about it. No food till I get to the airport. But it's all good. It's all good. Don't cry for me. One of the reasons I'm leaving early is I don't like connector flights. The only way I can get a direct flight is I got to leave at 7 o'clock in the morning. Otherwise, I'm not going to get home till 7 o'clock at night. So all good.
It's like pay-per-views. I get it, but like fight nights, come on.
Well, because
do better with a fight night.
They want them to come on the same time back here, starting at like 3, 4 o'clock. So
yeah, but that's even later. I think that it normally is for a fight night. No.
It seems that way. It's East Coast. East Coast is always late.
Yeah, but I still think like fight nights are. I mean, I don't know. They bounce around a lot. At least it's not 3 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's a fight night, but let's talk about a pay-per-view. Okay, we had UFC 310, right? Exciting night of fights for sure. Exciting night of announcing for me for sure. Did you see Ian Gary? Did you see Ian Gary when I was introducing him?
I saw him and Chiesa.
And Chiesa. Well, Chiesa's always fun to announce. He always gets into it. And, they come to me. I don't go to them. I get in my area there, but when they come out like that. But Ian Gary does something no other fighter's ever done. He grabbed the back of my head and pulled it in. Did they show that on TV?
Yeah, I definitely. So I was in the arena. I saw it on the big screen. I don't know if it necessarily was on the broadcast, but I mean, there's no way not to show it. He had you in a tie clinch, Buff.
Yeah, exactly. He gets into it. That's for sure. That was the now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Ian Gary and pardon me, Ian Gary when they fought, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're both undefeated.
Yeah,
correct?
Shavkat was 18-0 coming into that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that the first time or the second time we've had two undefeated fighters? I can't remember.
Oh, I mean, we've had lots of undefeated fighters fight each other, but whether or not it's at 4-0 or 18-0 is a different story. But yeah, I can't recall the last time we had that high profile of a fight between two undefeated fighters.
When you saw Ian Gary and he took Shavkat down and he had him in the rear naked choke position, Dean, could he have executed any better to achieve that choke?
Yeah, I do believe so because he had the position. He just wasn't under the neck. And for me, I would think that if that was Gilbert Burns or old school Damian Maya guys with a better gripping sequence, they finished that position. They finished that position. I just don't think Ian Gary is that skilled from that position. I mean, even though he got closer to finishing Shavkat than he did MVP Michael Venom Page, he got closer, but he's just not that skilled in that position. I don't think his gripping sequences are that good, and he just doesn't understand the position like a real traditional jiu-jitsu guy would.
Well, it's not putting him down. He's a striker learning jiu-jitsu. Yeah.
It's just, we oftentimes put jiu-jitsu or striking under this umbrella that if you're good at jiu-jitsu, you are good at all jiu-jitsu, but you can be good at jiu-jitsu and not have a good choke. You could be good at jiu-jitsu and not have a good guillotine. Or you could be bad at jiu-jitsu and have a good choke. So they're really separate, and he's just not a good rear naked choke guy.
He's a good fighter. He's a fine fighter.
Yeah,
there's no question.
Good fight. Like Pantoja finishes that.
I've never seen Pantoja look so good.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yeah, that was his career performance. Oh my God.
Yeah. Completely.
And that's the thing too. I feel sort of bad for Pantoja in the sense that people don't understand how good Kai Asakura actually is because he's so new to the UFC, but that was such a brilliant performance by Alexandre that it lifts him up. It lifts up the division. And, I just hope he can stay there. Obviously there are money fights to be made. And, if he wants to move up to 35, I don't think people would be upset about it. But I love the idea of someone being able to lord over the division and, sort of just be who they are. Maybe we get another, go around with Roy Vall and Brandon Moreno, but I'd like to see Pantoja, try to just be there and solidify the status of being the greatest flyweight we've ever seen.
All right, now correct me if I'm wrong. This is the first time, to my knowledge or recollection, that a challenger has come in to fight for a championship that is not ranked and from another organization.
No, it's happened before. Frank Trigg did it against Matt Hughes at UFC 45.
Who?
He did?
Frank Trigg. Yeah, he fought Matt Hughes in his UFC debut for the title.
Did he really? I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was UFC, but again, it was a different time. Trigg came over from the WFA as a champion. It was November 2003. It's not even fair to really look at that era as this one now.
It is kind of fair. Me and Laura Sanko and
I think Trigg like that though.
Trying to figure this out.
Yeah, and then Trigg.
Well, you should have called your boy. I had your answer for you, Dean.
I remember Trigg fought another guy for the elevator championship. Just kidding.
Oh yeah, but some Bruce guy, right?
yeah, some guy. Anyway,
we know who got that belt.
No comment.
Hey, you know what, Buff? Going back to what you were saying earlier, the Elevator Fighting Championship is probably just around the corner.
Who knows? God, that actually is a little better than a phone booth, though. I think an elevator gives you plenty of room to have a fight, personally. All right, Volkov, Cyril Gane. Dana was obviously upset with the judges. He went back and talked to Volkov. Did you have Volkov winning that fight?
I did. I normally tend to use the restroom during announcements when I think that I already know who won the fight. So as soon as the fight's over, I get up and leave, just thinking that it was Volkov in the bag. And I remember standing in the bathroom thinking, wait a minute, did I just hear them call Cyril Gane's name? I couldn't believe it. And it happens every once in a while, but this was another situation where I just couldn't believe what I was hearing as they were calling the announcement. I couldn't believe it.
What was weird to me is they flashed the stats up after the fight on the big screen in the arena, and Gane was ahead on significant strikes and things like that. And don't get me wrong, numbers don't win fights necessarily, but no. There weren't many people in the building that felt like when the final bell rang, it was a Cyril Gane victory in the bag.
There were a lot of people there, for Shavkat, for Volkov. There were a lot of people, a lot of fans were in that audience. So they definitely made themselves known. The boos were happening for sure.
Well, even when there are fan favorites, guys, I still feel like UFC fans boo bad decisions, even if their fan favorite won, especially if it's a robbery. Do you know what I mean? If it's a close decision, they're going to back their guy. But if it's one where, like, Dana got up to Volkov, after the match and said, you got effed, you got screwed. And I generally think, despite fandom, UFC fans, they call it like they see it when they see a robbery.
I agree. Then we had Bryce Mitchell and Kron Gracie.
Oh my God.
What a knockout that was. Kron sticking to his jits, doing his best at striking. But Bryce made a very strong statement in that fight.
Yeah, he did, man. I think Bryce, but it was a stylistic matchup that favored him, I think, based on the fact that Bryce is fighting a more contemporary style of MMA. And the only thing he really had to worry about was jiu-jitsu. I mean, when you look at Bryce's, biggest losses, I mean, he got beaten up by Josh Emmett and then Ilia Topuria. When you're dealing with Kron Gracie, stylistically, I don't want to say favorable, but it was at least less danger. He had less things to worry about. And Kron just, he doesn't train with the right people. It's evident that he doesn't train with the right people. It's evident
he's not an MMA fighter.
Yeah, he's not an MMA fighter.
No.
I
hate to say that. I don't mean that in
his dojo is right here near my house. I was bringing my boy Rupert over there for a while. He's got a really excellent jiu-jitsu dojo. And I think he's just mainly a jiu-jitsu guy. It's like going back to the Gracies when the Gracies fight MMA.
Yeah.
Like when he fought Matt Hughes. Same thing.
And that's the thing, too. I heard from people that are much more on the inside than me that there was some pressure on Kron to have a UFC career where he showcased Gracie Jiu-Jitsu in a way that wasn't necessarily modern and contemporary mixed martial arts. And, I thought we settled this when Matt Hughes fought Royce Gracie back at UFC 60.
I thought it was settled.
You can't just be a straight jiu-jitsu player. You have to play the game of mixed martial arts, or it's going to be bad.
Agreed. But that was a strong statement by Bryce for sure. Do Ho Choi. Always enjoy watching it by him. Pardon me?
Strong statement by Do Ho Choi.
Strong statement. Strongest he's ever made.
Yeah.
And then we get to Anthony Smith and Dom. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying he looked fantastic from top to bottom. Like, his striking never looked better. Well, he's always had great striking, but it looked fantastic. And then he displayed some stuff on the ground and his takedown ability. I mean, Do Ho Choi looks like he could be a contender.
Definitely. Anthony Smith and Dominic Reyes. Anthony, very emotional walking into the octagon. Very emotional after his fight. Fine fighter, great guy. And, he's contemplating retirement now. So what do you think?
Well, I spoke to him yesterday. We do a show together yesterday, and we spoke. He said he says he can't confirm he's going to retire or not confirm he's going to retire. But what he did say is that in a perfect world, he'd like to give himself another opportunity to get one more camp and fight a good fight. That's what he said. Like, he would like to give himself that opportunity. And I think that's a very fair assessment because under the conditions that he was fighting under were not ideal.
Yeah. We didn't see Anthony Smith at 310. Yeah. We saw a shell of Anthony Smith at 310.
Yeah. And it's not ideal to go out that way. So
No.
I'm with him on, giving himself another opportunity to fight the last fight, to go through one last camp and go through one last, fight week and see what he's made of.
Aljamain Sterling had a tough night.
That was a tough fight, man. I feel like Avoylev, I can't even say that name, Movsar, we'll say that. He took that fight within the last 90 seconds of that third round. It was such a good technical grappling MMA bout. I love that fight.
I loved it too. And
good solid fight. Chris Weidman, Eric Anders.
Oh man, he never looked worse.
He never looked what? I didn't hear you.
No, I said he never looked worse.
Yeah. Tough one.
How much of that, I wonder, plays on the fact that they were supposed to fight 3 weeks ago in New York? I knew the fight was up at like 195. It was a catch weight technically. Obviously, Anders, was ill and wasn't able to make the fight. But I just wonder if it wasn't emblematic of, what we could really see or should see or expect. I don't know.
No, I don't think so, man.
According to Dana, there's basically 3 fighters that night that he feels should retire. He mentioned Anthony Smith, he mentioned Chris Weidman, and he mentioned Clay Guida. And Chase Hooper, with all respect to Clay Guida, Chase Hooper had a very good showing that night. Perfect game plan against Clay. And Chase is an up-and-comer. I really believe he is.
Hooper's good. He's always been good, Buff, but at 155, he's a much different fighter. He's got power in his strikes, both on the feet and on the floor. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's going to go out there and, beat a Muay Thai guy with nothing but kickboxing. But I do think that you have to respect. You've always had to respect his ground game, but now I think you need to respect his strikes on the ground even more. And obviously, his submission offense is pretty dangerous as well.
Well, he looked very powerful in that fight. His body had a whole new look. The musculature of his body, everything. I mean, he came in that fight very, very strong, extremely confident. You know how fighters walk in the octagon, Dean, like yourself, and you can just tell the confidence they have. As soon as they walk in, and I can see fear in fighters in their eyes when they're being checked by the refs or when I'm announcing them. Chase Hooper's got that cool hand Luke look to him.
Well, think about this. Chase is one of those guys from the first Contender Series, and he didn't get a contract through the Contender Series. He got a developmental deal and was fighting all over the place on Fight Pass, Island Fights, Fury FC, Cage Fury, everywhere they could get him a fight. And I think that we're seeing the product of that because it's really hard to grow up under the UFC's lights. And Chase has done that, and he's 10 fights into his career. And, no statement more strong than dispatching Clay Guida in the way that he did.
Totally. Yeah, he looked sharp, man.
For sure.
He looked real sharp.
Solid night of fights. As far as fandom there, the fans were into it. But I got to give Theo Vaughn, the comedian, podcaster.
You mean the first guy to walk through the turnstiles, Buff?
Wow. Sat in that seat, nobody in his row, no nothing. It was there from beginning to end. Beginning to end. True fan.
Like, if you didn't know who Theo Vaughn was, you would think that he was the truck driver to the octagon, and he just, pulled up a seat after he dropped it off.
Yeah, the mullet gives it all away. I mean, if Anthony Kiedis was there, he'd be sitting right next to him, too, from beginning to end. So
Theo Vaughn is wild, man. Like, Theo Vaughn will take pictures of guys, during the events, and just post them on his social media. And like a fan. he does that like a fan. And I'm
he's a total fan.
Yeah.
That's what's so cool about him. He's got a hell of a career, does quite well for himself, but he's just a fan.
There are a handful of celebs that I believe are really true diehard UFC fans. I think a lot of people go there because it's the hip, fashionable thing to do. If you can be seen on the floor at the UFC, it's a sort of a status statement. But then there are dudes like Theo Vaughn, Steve O's another one, where these guys, you interview them, and then they just don't want to get off the phone with you because they just want to talk about UFC forever.
Yeah, exactly. It's very cool. Very cool. All right, this is the last show of the year. The next show of the year is January the 11th, I think, in Vegas. I won't be doing that. They got the big show coming to LA on Jan 18th. That's going to be a very big show. I'm very happy about that. Right up the street from my house. That makes it real easy.
Yeah, I didn't even know what an Intuit Dome was, but I know the UFC's going there.
I haven't been there, but it's an incredible arena, I understand.
What is it?
Yeah. It's right
It's in
by
Inglewood.
it's in Inglewood.
It's where the Clippers play.
It's near the SoFi Stadium. So
it's like right beside it.
Yeah.
Like right there. There's the Forum. There's SoFi. There's that. It's just it's a real glitch of activity. It's very, very cool. Very cool.
Inglewood's the happening place now.
You know, we had the UFC last week in Vegas and the PBR there, Professional Bull Riders League, the championships. It's always cool when that's in town. I've announced it before, but
Let me say,
all the cowboys
it's not
walking
cool
around,
when
the
you go to
cowgirls
the
with their
airport,
hats.
Buff. Huh? It's not cool when you go to the airport because the line is 17 times longer when the rodeo's in town.
No, man.
Well, that's why you got to have clear.
No, well,
I got pre-check. It didn't matter.
No, it's okay for me, and I actually like it because I have a thing for like cowgirls when they wear their little jeans with the little, with the little buttons in the back and the little jeans. I have a thing for that.
You're not alone.
Yeah, right. I'm not alone with that, right? Like I like that.
Yeah,
I find that to be attractive in a weird way.
There's not attractive in a weird way, attractive in a positive way. They're very attractive.
Okay, good,
the jeans, the boots, the long hair, the cowboy hats. It's very cool.
Yeah,
did
man.
Did you ever do line dancing, Dean?
I did. One time. I did a line dancing class, and it was so hard. It was a lot harder than I thought.
Yep.
Yeah, it ain't the electric slide, homie.
I'm getting line dancing confused with square dancing.
Yeah,
square dancing is hard too.
Yeah, I did line dancing. It's not doing the Cupid shuffle, homie. It's a lot more difficult than that. I was like, yo, slow down, man. I can't keep up with y'all.
Oh, gosh. All right, here, let's go into some news here before we sign off. Jamie Foxx confirmed, remember Jamie Foxx was really sick there for a while?
Yeah,
he did have a stroke. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Crazy. I know. He came back from that very, very well. I mean, a lot of people, knock on wood, they don't come back from that. It's a very serious thing. And you ever drink, do you like tequila?
I don't. I actually don't drink anymore. And when I did drink, tequila was gross.
Yeah, tequila to kill you.
Tequila. Yeah, don't do
tequila. Guy Fieri and Sammy Hagar, they have a label of tequila. It's called Santo Tequila. And they do quite well, but one of their truck, you know how you hear these stories like in The Sopranos of hijacking the trucks?
Yeah.
So 2 trucks of theirs loaded with 24,000 plus bottles of their Santo Tequila got hijacked, right? It took over 39 months to make all that tequila, and it was over $1 million valued in tequila, and they got hijacked.
Oh, my God.
That could kill a company.
What do you do with that, though? Because you can't go ahead and sell that without outing yourself. You know what I mean? You just got to stash a tequila.
You hear all these stories, like if you watch Goodfellas, where they're loading in the liquor in the back and from the, the guys, right? Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, my God.
Seems pretty risky to me.
Like right now, a bunch of college white girls are excited to get wasted.
I didn't say that. You did, Dean, okay?
I said that, tequila is a college white girl drink.
Well, I feel like, again, I don't really drink, but I feel like tequila is the one that even responsible drinkers, they become a little bit unhinged when they get into the tequila.
Yeah.
It can make people do some wild things. Wild things. Speaking of wild things, OnlyFans, we all know about OnlyFans, of course. I saw this headline. I got to bring it up. OnlyFans model Lily Phillips cries and is emotionally distraught. You know why? Wow. It was after she slept with 100 men in one day.
Jesus.
Why did she do that?
I guess she does porn too, or whatever. But it's like emotionally distraught.
I mean, I would assume so. I would assume that wasn't just her.
You elected to have sex with 100 men. What was that? 10 minutes each, whatever. Who knows?
10 minutes each. And then you're emotionally that's a long time.
That's a stretch.
Let me see what 10 minutes each is. Oh, geez.
What are you going to do, the math?
Yeah. I mean, if there's no way it's 10 minutes each. So 10 minutes times 100 equals 1,000 minutes divided by 60. That's 16.6666 hours. That's no.
Yeah, so no, there's no way.
No, it's a, hey, how are you? Have a
Didn't you
nice
ever
day.
hear the
Hey, how are you?
Houston
Have a
500?
nice day.
Didn't you ever hear the Houston 500?
No, somebody did 500 men.
It was
No.
a porn star. What's her name? Kimberly Halsey. She used to go to the UFC all the time. She would be there. I'd see her there before, but she did. Actually, excuse me, I'm wrong. She slept with over 620 men in this video.
Back to
When? In
back.
a day?
It was in 2000. Let's see. She says here she held the. I guess I can say this on the air. The gangbang record of having sex 620 times over 8 hours. Do the math on that one.
Okay, so 8 hours. Room service is knocking on my door right now.
Yeah, she's known as Houston.
How do you do they
We're
draw
okay,
straws
thank
or
you.
do
I
you
think
go
that
first?
it's literally you probably get Dean without going into detail. I remember I saw a clip on this. I didn't, I'm not a porn guy. I don't watch porn, but I saw this. I mean, I did, my younger years, but I saw this clip, and you just see these guys like a couple hundred, all lined up,
How many?
naked, standing behind each other, lined up.
How many guys in that 8 hours?
620.
620?
Yeah.
Okay. Doing math here. That is roughly 45 seconds each.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. What kind of guy do you have to be to want to be in that lineup?
That's what I'm saying. Like how did they pick the guys for that lineup? Where did they find
I mean,
these
the
guys?
stamina to go 45 seconds, that's a lot.
Where were they? Power slap guys?
Something to be proud of, right? Jeez.
Oh
All right,
my
let's get off
God.
that. Enough of that, but a little more close to porn or whatever. Mike Tyson got a $125,000 offer to host a Christmas party, but as long as he would host it with his buns out.
No way.
What, in like a thong?
Probably his cup.
As long as his buns are on display, you get 125 grand.
Okay. Let me ask that. Dean, did you think that shot was on purpose? Because I felt it was totally staged, totally on purpose.
No, it looked like a scene from The Office. Like
Yeah.
it looked like it was staged, but I don't know, man. Like, Tyson was in the zone. Like, how do you convince somebody in the zone to do that shot?
It's almost like when he turned around, he was telling the world to kiss his ass.
Yeah, but he's not subtle about needing to tell the world to kiss his ass. He'll just tell the world to kiss his ass.
Well, all respect
I
to
don't think
Mike.
it was staged, man. I think it was an accident that we just happened to catch at the perfect
It was
time.
too perfect. It was too perfect.
I know it was. Like when he goes in and he kisses the guy and he turns around and it's just like
Like if you told me that was an outtake from The Hangover 4, I'd be like, of course it was.
yeah.
Well, that was his son that was interviewing him. You know that.
Yeah.
Who was it? Who
And
was
maybe
it
when he
again?
turned around, the camera
It was
angle
his
was supposed to
son.
be from the waist up. Anyway, it happened. It was probably the greatest shot of the night because there certainly weren't a lot of great shots in the fight.
Yeah.
Ooh. Ooh.
Sorry, no offense. It's a money grab. Everybody made money. Everybody's happy, I guess.
It is what we thought it was going. I mean, if you thought it was going to be anything other than that, sorry, you're the mark.
You guys heard about Haley Welch and this whole thing with the meme coin?
She's the Hawk-Tua girl.
Yeah, I heard
The
about that.
Hawk-Tua girl.
Yeah, what happened?
Was it a meme coin she came out with?
Yeah, it was a I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, it was a coin. It plummeted in this short amount of time. And
Yeah,
it's
and a lot of people lost a lot of money. She's getting a lot of flack over it. They're guesstimating lawsuits, potential.
So did she make a bunch of money off of it?
Supposedly, yeah.
Okay. So she made a bunch of money off of it, then it fell, and she's the only one who profited. So then everyone thinks it's a scandal.
Yeah.
I can't. Well, that's what it's coming out as. I can't give the full details about it, but that I think giving her the benefit of the doubt. Not that it's the benefit of the doubt because she's behind it, but she's got these people, setting up these deals for her and putting her in. Probably unknowingly, she agreed to it.
Yeah.
And then
she doesn't know how to do crypto. I mean, no offense, but I mean,
you got to be careful in that. You got to be careful in that industry.
Yeah.
A lot of people got in trouble for that.
You're right about that, Bruce, because you got to think about it. Like, she got famous on accident by doing something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
She couldn't have, and then she got involved in all these things because all these people are gravitating towards her and just kind of pulling her in different directions. Hey, do this, you're famous, do that. And now she found herself in a situation where she's probably like, I didn't know this. I didn't know what was going on. She couldn't have
Right.
known what was going on.
No. She worked at a spring factory before she said, spit on that thing.
Yeah. There's no way she knew the game. She don't
I
know the
hear
game
all these
like that.
things. I mean, her podcast became like number 3 behind Joe Rogan's right out of the gate. I don't know if it's sustainable or stayed
I
that
don't
way.
know if that's true, though, either. I feel like there's ways to go back channel and pay certain people, and all of a sudden, you get a billion hits in some other country, and all of a sudden you're number 3 in the charts.
This is a true example of an Andy Warhol 15 minutes of fame, right? Which I hope for her benefit, it sustains longer than that. I'm not saying anything bad about her, but a thing like that crypto thing, it can literally ruin your brand overnight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right,
yeah, yeah.
But and also too, she needs to stay in that spotlight longer than 15 minutes. Buff, you need another hit. You need something else that
A legit hit.
Right, and I mean, has it even been a year since she said, Hawk Tua, spit on that thing?
It's been a real roller coaster. I think probably less than a year for sure.
Right. So 2 years from now, if we say Haley Welch on this program, do any of us have any idea who we're talking about? I hope for her case we do.
Hopefully she makes enough money that she's set for the rest of her life, just like these OnlyFans girls we see making $42 million in a year or whatever the case might be. So I can go on and on about that. The world's a very funny place when it comes to this stuff.
Hey, you don't need sustainability, though, if you could make $42 million in a year. That you can be done after 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's possible for her to still be relevant. Like, look at Bad Barbie. Remember the Catch Me Outside girl?
Yeah, she supposedly made $58+ million on OnlyFans.
Yeah. And she got a couple of hit songs out with like legit artists.
Really?
I swear it.
Good for her. What can I say? Good for her. Paige Van Zandt told me that she and her husband are set for life because of OnlyFans.
That's great.
Yep, she's made some great investments for herself. So, whatever makes your boat float. The world out there is a land of opportunity, and social media and the OnlyFans of this world have opened it up for a lot of different people. But something a little more legit, a little more, I don't want to call it respectable, but just I like seeing this. Obviously, we've all seen The Wizard of Oz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Judy Garland's ruby slippers just set a record. They sold for $28 million.
What?
It's amazing, too, because they were gone for like 20 years. Someone had stolen them, and no one had any idea where they were.
Yep. They were recovered during an FBI undercover operation in 2018. They were stolen in 2005. You're exactly correct. And gone for 15 years. They sold
and again, what do you do when you steal those? You can't sell them to somebody.
It's like major art paintings that have been stolen. Obviously, people just like having them in their collectible rooms in their houses or their private whatever. It's crazy. You remember Marilyn Monroe's 7-year itch dress, the white dress, the famous for $4.6 million in 2011. Movie memorabilia goes for a lot of money, just like sports.
Okay, but it's out of control, guys. Did you see the stupid banana that was duct taped to a wall that sold for like $5 million?
The guy bought it, then he ate it.
Get out of
here. Then he ate it.
That's crazy.
I don't get it.
I don't get that.
That to me is like
someone just give me that money, please.
They pay $150,000 to have the girls bring out the big bottle of Cristal and go happy birthday. It's like, okay, you must have money to burn because you just spent 2 minutes and everybody forgot about it.
Do you know how hard I've worked on all of us? Do you know how hard we've worked on things that netted us less than $50? I can't handle this.
I know. Yeah, but what do you do with a banana though? Like eventually it's going to within days it goes bad. So what else do you do with it?
I don't know.
You got to
buy another banana?
No, you got to freeze it and sell it.
I mean, I guess. So, I mean, what's the next fruit we need to duct tape to a wall? A pomegranate?
I don't know. I'm going to try, though.
All right, guys. It's time for me to go get a workout in. I've got to get on a plane, get to Tampa. So let's tell the world what's happening and wish everybody a happy holidays. Dean, go ahead, buddy.
I'm filming looking for a fight this weekend, so wait till that drops. Otherwise, you can catch me on Sirius XM Radio on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
TJ?
I just got Sirius, by the way, on a promotional deal, so now I can listen to Dean Thomas anytime I want to. But I'm down in Cancun, Mexico for Jiu-Jitsu Overdose. It's the latest brainchild of Eddie Bravo, 4 shows back-to-back. We kick it off, as people hear this, we kicked it off yesterday with Combat Jiu-Jitsu Mexico. We got Medusa on Friday, Saturday, EBI, Sunday, Combat Jiu-Jitsu Worlds. It's all available for you on UFC Fight Pass.
Hey, guys, talk to each other. I want to get something and show it to you real quick, okay?
Okay.
What do you? He's going to go get a banana and duct tape it to the wall.
Actually, you know what? While we're talking, I might as well say, if you're in Hollywood, Florida, make sure you come to my restaurant, the Modern Rose Hollywood. Yeah.
Wait, you have a restaurant?
I do, yeah. We serve brunch
like it's
food
yours?
Well, I got some partners, but we serve brunch food,
Dean.
coffee, teas. Yeah, man.
What's on the menu? Tell me.
Avocado toast and things like that. Sandwiches, breakfast sandwiches.
Okay.
It's amazing too. It's like LA quality food.
I like it. It's like Hollywood, but in a different Hollywood.
Yeah, Hollywood, Florida, not Hollywood.
Right.
Hollywood, Florida.
All right, I'm back. And there's more. Here we go.
What do we got?
Happy holidays. Happy holidays, everybody. I'm not drinking my Puncher's Chance today, so don't think I have this wrong. But Puncher's Chance, great by the fireplace, great for whatever. But I want to show you something. I premiered in Vegas last week my limited edition. There's only 2,000 cases. This is my new Puncher's Chance.
Warrior Spirit.
Warrior Spirit.
I love
Look at
the
that
logo.
bottle. That is a fierce-looking tiger.
Isn't that nice? Bourbon. It's got, this is the Bruce Buffer edition. This is a special edition I did. And you like the logo?
I love the logo.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, well, it's time. Look at him. Hey, man, congratulations on that.
I might have to put that on a shoe someday. Just kidding.
Hey, I'd wear that shoe, actually. That'd look good on a shoe.
There's things. Listen, I'm always working on something. You never know what I'm going to do, but I'm very proud of this. It's very, very cool. It's limited. You can go to puncherschancebourbon.com and order all the different varieties, but it makes for a great gift. If you can find it, it's going to sell out quick. And the cologne has been selling like crazy on Amazon and at itstimebb.com. This makes a wonderful Christmas gift for your friends and whatever the case might be. So there's my shill for the day, but I'm very proud of it. I'm all excited. The holidays are here. We're definitely going to have another 1 or 2 podcasts before the end of the year. Dean, I will see you in Tampa. I wish you happy holidays there, but I wish it to you here. TJ, of course, always wishing you and your wonderful family a very, very happy holidays. And that's about it. So I'm going to sign off. We're all good. Dean, TJ?
Guys, I love you guys, and can't wait to chop it up again.